Welcome back to BMB Spoilers channel. Today we will learn about the intriguing developments in the life of one of the show's most complex characters, Luna, and her increasingly troubled relationship with her father, Finn. The uncertain future of Luna's character arc. The question on everyone's mind is what lies ahead for Luna after her recent actions. Viewers have been engaged in heated discussions about Luna's character development and her potential redemption arc, or lack thereof. The psychological complexity of her character has captivated audiences, with many wondering if there's any possibility for healing in her fractured relationships. The Bold and the Beautiful has always excelled at creating morally ambiguous characters, but Luna represents something different. A character whose psychological damage manifests in truly dangerous ways, notes one longtime viewer of the show. Her actions have crossed lines that few characters on daytime television dare to cross. Luna's criminal history cannot be overlooked. She has taken 2 lives and attempted to murder Stephy, who is not just any character but her father's wife and the mother of his children. This creates an almost insurmountable barrier to any potential reconciliation between Luna and Finn, regardless of their biological connection. Finn's impossible position. Finn finds himself torn between his newfound daughter and his established family in a way that few characters have experienced before. His loyalty to Stephy has been tested repeatedly, first with Sheila and now with Luna, creating a pattern that suggests deeper issues within their relationship. The revelation of Luna's paternity is still fresh, having occurred merely weeks ago in the show's timeline. This recent discovery makes it particularly challenging for Finn to process his feelings about Luna, especially in light of her criminal behavior. Developing a meaningful father-daughter bond under such circumstances would be challenging for anyone, let alone someone with Finn's complicated family history. Many fans have observed that if not for his marriage to Stephy, Finn would likely embrace relationships with both Sheila and Luna. This observation highlights the fundamental conflict at the heart of his character, the pull between his biological family and the family he has chosen to build with Stephy. The Sheila factor. Adding another layer of complexity to this family drama is Sheila's inevitable reaction when she learns about Luna's situation. Given Sheila's manipulative nature and her own complicated relationship with Finn, she will almost certainly push for Finn to develop a relationship with Luna. This pressure from Sheila could potentially create tension between her and Deacon, who has been trying to help Sheila maintain a more stable lifestyle. The ripple effects of Luna's actions and Finn's response will likely extend throughout multiple relationships on the show. Sheila's involvement could potentially escalate an already volatile situation, especially considering her own history of destructive behavior. The parallel between mother and granddaughter's psychological issues presents an interesting narrative thread that the writers could explore further. Luna's psychological state. The most alarming development in this storyline is Luna's apparent psychological break. After being rejected by Finn, who chose to stand by Stephy, Luna appears poised to take drastic action. Having failed in her attempt to kidnap Stephy, speculation suggests she may now target her own father. Luna's reaction to rejection demonstrates classic psychopathic behavior patterns. When she doesn't get what she wants, she resorts to violence and manipulation. The emotional wound of being told she cannot be part of Finn's life may prove to be the trigger for her most dangerous actions yet. The psychological profile emerging for Luna suggests someone who forms unhealthy attachments and responds to rejection with escalating violence. This pattern makes her unpredictable and extremely dangerous to those around her, especially those she feels have betrayed her. Viewer reactions and predictions. The Bold and the Beautiful's audience has been vocal about this storyline, with many expressing concerns about where the narrative is heading. Some viewers sympathize with Finn's difficult position, while others believe that Luna's crimes are simply too severe to justify any kind of relationship. The writing team has created a fascinating ethical dilemma, comments one fan. How much should biology matter when someone has committed such terrible acts? This question lies at the heart of the current storyline and resonates with viewers who appreciate the moral complexity. Another perspective from the audience suggests that Luna's actions have created consequences that cannot simply be overlooked because of a biological connection. The attempted murder of Stephy could have left Finn a widower and his children motherless, a reality that cannot be easily dismissed. What lies ahead? As this dramatic storyline continues to unfold, viewers will need to tune in daily to discover what happens next in this complex family drama. Will Luna follow through on her apparent intentions toward Finn? How will Stephy protect her family from this new threat? And what role will Sheila play when she discovers what's happening with her granddaughter? The Bold and the Beautiful continues to push boundaries with this storyline, exploring the darkest aspects of family dynamics and the psychological consequences of rejection. Whatever happens next, it's clear that the repercussions will be felt throughout the show's canvas for episodes to come. Next, we will learn about the fascinating parallel between Luna Nozawa's current situation and Taylor Hayes' controversial past, revealing a web of hypocrisy that Bill Spencer might soon expose in a dramatic confrontation. The Forgotten History, Hope and Brooke's judgment of Taylor. The ripple effects of Taylor's violent outburst against Bill Spencer extended far beyond the immediate aftermath, creating lasting divisions within the extended family circle that continue to influence relationships to this day. When the truth about Taylor's shooting of Bill finally surfaced, the reaction from the Logan women was swift and severe. Both Hope Logan and her mother Brooke established firm boundaries, labeling Taylor as dangerous and unstable, descriptors that bear a striking resemblance to how Stephy now characterizes Luna. In a particularly poignant development that many viewers may have forgotten, a pregnant Hope made the difficult decision to keep her unborn child away from Taylor's influence. This maternal protective instinct, not dissimilar from Stephy's current stance regarding Luna, created a painful barrier between future half-sisters. Hope declared that her baby, who would later be revealed as Beth following the heartbreaking kidnapping saga, could not be in proximity to someone she deemed violent and unpredictable, effectively limiting the relationship between the child and Kelly Spencer. This protective stance from Hope inadvertently set in motion a cascade of events that would lead to one of the show's most devastating storylines, the baby Beth kidnapping and illegal adoption. The complex web of family dynamics became even more tangled as Hope and Brooke maintained their position that Taylor was fundamentally dangerous and mentally unstable, characterizations that Stephy would vehemently reject at the time but now mirrors in her assessment of Luna. Taylor's fall from grace, the black sheep era. Following the revelation of her violent crime, Taylor Hayes experienced a period of social ostracism that tested her resilience and forced her to confront her own capacity for violence. Once respected as a brilliant psychiatrist, Taylor found herself labeled as the black sheep of their social circle, a designation that carried profound professional and personal consequences. The irony of Taylor's current moral outrage toward Luna becomes even more pronounced when we recall this difficult chapter in her life. During this period, Taylor was forced to rebuild her reputation from the ground up, relying heavily on Stephy's unwavering support and Bill's unexpected mercy. The psychological toll of being viewed as dangerous and unpredictable, exactly how she now characterizes Luna, was immense, leading to periods of self-doubt and isolation that required intensive therapy to overcome. Taylor's journey back from the brink of social destruction should have instilled in her a deeper sense of empathy for those struggling with similar demons, notes one longtime viewer. The fact that she seems to have forgotten her own redemption story speaks volumes about the selective nature of memory when family is involved. The parallels between Taylor's past and Luna's present are striking. Both women committed acts of violence stemming from emotional distress, both faced potential incarceration, and both benefited from the intervention of someone with power and influence. The primary difference appears to be whose daughter is perceived to be at risk. The complicated aftermath, Liam's confusion and Ridge's suspicion. In the chaotic aftermath of Bill's shooting, suspicion fell on multiple characters before Taylor's guilt was established, creating a tangled web of accusations and false confessions that tore at the fabric of family relationships. The investigation into who shot Bill Spencer became a central mystery that captivated viewers and created unexpected alliances and divisions. In one of the more surprising twists, Liam Spencer temporarily believed himself to be the shooter due to a concussion-induced blackout that coincided with the timing of the attack. This period of confusion led to a heart-wrenching false confession to Stephy, who steadfastly refused to believe in his guilt, a faith she extended to her father Ridge as well, despite his history of violence toward Bill. Ridge Forrester, along with his brother Thorne, had previously assaulted Bill in a confrontation that culminated with Bill being thrown from a balcony, an incident that bears an eerie resemblance to Bill's later treatment of Sheila Carter. This prior violence made Ridge a natural suspect in the shooting, creating additional tension within the family as accusations flew. The parallels between these past violent incidents and the current situation with Luna are striking. Multiple characters within the Bold and the Beautiful universe have committed acts of violence and received second chances, a point that Bill may soon emphasize to Taylor and Stephy as they continue to insist that Luna is uniquely dangerous and beyond redemption. Taylor's confession and continued threats. When Taylor finally gathered the courage to confess her crime directly to Bill, the confrontation revealed the depth of her emotional instability at that time, a moment of vulnerability that stands in stark contrast to her current self-righteous stance. The confession scene remains one of the most intense in the show's history, with Taylor arriving at Bill's mansion determined to clear her conscience. What many viewers may have forgotten is that even during this supposed act of contrition, Taylor's emotional volatility was on full display. Rather than simply admitting her guilt, she once again threatened Bill at gunpoint, continuing to accuse him of taking advantage of Stephy. This second brandishing of a weapon demonstrated that her violent tendencies weren't an isolated incident but part of a pattern of behavior when she felt her daughter was threatened. The scene took an even more dramatic turn when Stephy arrived unexpectedly, witnessing her mother's breakdown and immediately shifting into protective mode, not to shield herself from Taylor, but to shield Taylor from the consequences of her actions. This moment of filial loyalty stands in sharp contrast to Stephy's current unwillingness to allow Finn any similar relationship with Luna. Bill's initial response was appropriate and measured. He acknowledged that Taylor needed help but believed that the justice system was the proper channel for both punishment and rehabilitation. His position only softened after Stephy's repeated interventions, highlighting that his mercy was extended primarily for Stephy's benefit rather than from any genuine forgiveness of Taylor. Stephy's intervention and Bill's mercy. The pivotal moment in Taylor's redemption story came when Stephy intervened on her mother's behalf, begging Bill not to press charges and promising that Taylor would get the help she needed outside the prison system. This heartfelt plea from a daughter desperate to protect her mother showcases the exact type of compassion that Stephy now refuses to extend to Luna's situation. Stephy's impassioned advocacy for her mother included promises of psychiatric treatment, supervision, and rehabilitation, all alternatives to incarceration that she now vehemently opposes for Luna. The emotional intensity of her pleas to Bill demonstrated her belief that people who commit violent acts can be rehabilitated under the right circumstances, at least when that person is her mother. Bill's eventual acquiescence to Stephy's requests was explicitly framed as a favor to her rather than forgiveness for Taylor. "I'm doing this for you, Stephy," he told her in a moment of rare vulnerability, establishing a precedent of mercy that he now extends to Luna, albeit for different reasons. This past act of compassion creates a powerful counterargument to Stephy and Taylor's current position. The parallels between these situations provide Bill with considerable moral ammunition should he choose to confront Taylor about her hypocrisy. The woman who once benefited from his mercy now condemns him for showing similar compassion to another troubled soul, creating a narrative disconnect that becomes increasingly difficult to justify. The shooting incident, Taylor's violent past. The original shooting incident that set this complex moral dilemma in motion occurred in 2018, following Taylor's discovery of Bill and Stephy's one-night stand. Without bothering to gather all the facts or even speak with her daughter, Taylor jumped to conclusions about the nature of the encounter, assuming Bill had taken advantage of Stephy rather than acknowledging it as the consensual, if regrettable, interaction it was. This rush to judgment led Taylor to take extraordinary measures, flying to Los Angeles unannounced, proceeding directly to Bill's mansion, and shooting him in the back with his own distinctive golden gun. The premeditated nature of this attack, combined with the shot to the back rather than a confrontational face-to-face encounter, speaks to the extreme nature of Taylor's actions. Bill's survival was described by doctors as miraculous, emphasizing the severity of Taylor's crime. Had he died, she would have faced murder charges rather than attempted murder, a distinction that seems lost in the current conversations about Luna's actions. The gravity of shooting someone in the back with intent to kill is not diminished simply because the victim survived. When examining Taylor's past actions through an objective lens, her crime appears at least as serious as Luna's, perhaps even more so given the premeditated nature of the attack. This uncomfortable parallel provides Bill with a powerful rhetorical weapon should he choose to confront Taylor about her current moral outrage. Current precautions and reasonable safeguards. Lost in the heated emotions surrounding Luna's situation is the reality that significant precautions have been implemented to ensure Stephy's safety while still allowing Luna a chance at rehabilitation. These measures represent a reasonable middle ground that Taylor and Stephy seem unwilling to acknowledge in their categorical rejection of Luna's presence in their extended family. Luna's conditional release includes an ankle monitor that tracks her movements at all times, providing immediate notification if she attempts to leave Bill's estate. This electronic supervision is supplemented by Bill's extensive security system and personnel, creating multiple layers of protection that significantly reduce any potential threat. Additionally, legal options remain available to Stephy that she has not pursued, such as a formal restraining order that would add yet another layer of protection and legal consequences should Luna attempt any contact. The fact that Stephy has not availed herself of this option suggests that her opposition may be more emotional than practical. The comprehensive nature of these safeguards mirrors the type of supervision and treatment that Stephy once promised would keep Taylor from reoffending, promises that Bill accepted at the time. His current support for Luna's rehabilitation follows the same logic that once benefited Taylor, creating a moral consistency that Taylor and Stephy now reject. Bill's compassionate motivation. At the heart of the current conflict lies Bill Spencer's motivation for helping Luna, a complex blend of compassion, belief in second chances, and recognition of a broken person in need of support. His position stems not from naivety about Luna's past actions but from a nuanced understanding of human fallibility and the possibility of redemption. Bill sees in Luna a damaged individual whose actions, while inexcusable, stem from profound psychological wounds rather than inherent evil. This perspective allows him to separate the person from their worst actions, a distinction that Taylor once benefited from when Bill chose not to press charges against her. The parallels between Bill's current compassion toward Luna and his past mercy toward Taylor create a powerful narrative through line that highlights the situational ethics at play. When Taylor was the beneficiary of such mercy, it was portrayed as the right and humane choice. Now that Luna receives similar consideration, it's characterized as dangerous and misguided. If Bill chooses to confront Taylor about this hypocrisy, he has ample evidence to support his position. The woman who once begged for understanding and a second chance now denies those same considerations to another troubled soul, creating a moral inconsistency that becomes increasingly difficult to defend. The heart of the hypocrisy. The fundamental hypocrisy that Bill may soon expose centers on the selective application of mercy and rehabilitation based on family connections rather than objective assessment of actions and potential for change. Both Taylor and Stephy benefited enormously from Bill's past willingness to forgive violent actions, yet they now deny Luna any possibility of similar redemption. Taylor, a trained psychiatrist who should understand the complexities of human behavior and the potential for rehabilitation, appears to have abandoned her professional ethics in favor of maternal protection. Her current stance directly contradicts both her professional training and her personal experience as someone who received a second chance after committing a violent crime. Stephy's position is perhaps more understandable given her direct victimization by Luna, but still contains elements of hypocrisy when contrasted with her passionate defense of her mother years ago. The arguments she once made about rehabilitation, treatment, and alternatives to incarceration apply equally to Luna's situation, yet she refuses to acknowledge these parallels. If Bill decides to confront this hypocrisy directly, he holds powerful moral leverage, not to shame Taylor and Stephy, but to encourage them toward greater consistency and compassion.